Alright, so welcome inside. My name's Kim, and I have forgotten how to do this, so I'm supposed to look at the camera hole. So if this is your first time watching the podcast, welcome aboard. Hopefully you're in for a treat. If you have watched me before, yay, I'm so glad to be back in front of the camera with you guys. I am recording on my iPad today, so we're going to keep the episode short and sweet. So let's go ahead and get the party started. I've got a little bit of what I'm crafting, a teeny bit of what I'm stashing, and a teenier bit of periphery. So, the big news, if you haven't seen the podcast in a while, or if you've never seen the podcast, maybe it's not as big news, I now live in Denver, Colorado, and we got our stuff delivered literally 3 days ago, hence the lovely flat rate moving boxes, and hence me not finding my real camera in time to podcast and get all my stuff together. But anyway, what am I crafting? I have been crafting the entire time that I have been in Denver. And it's something that I started when I came to Denver for interviews last year in November. And I hoped I would be finished by now, but I'm not, so it is what it is. But I'm really excited and I really am in love with this project. This is the Ripken cowl. I believe Melanie Berg is the designer. I could be wrong about that. But I started it back in November when I bought some of this yummy Madeleine Tosh in this black and white colorway. I want to say it's called Newsprint, this colorway, but I'm not really sure. Because I bought it in Denver at Fancy Tiger Crafts. And yeah, it's just basically the Ripken cowl, which is a really nice diagonal bias scarf. It's a paid pattern. And you're supposed to kind of work it in one solid color with a couple of stripes of different colors, but I went ahead and wanted to make nice fat stripes, so I used 4 different Madeleine Tosh unicorn tails. So this is the first unicorn tail, the second and third, and I've got one more to go. And it's supposed to be an infinity cowl, so that when you start with this provisional cast on over here and you seam it together, it's a nice big loop. So this is definitely going to fall into my new wardrobe. If you've never seen this show before, yay, I have blue hair. And it's kind of crazy because I haven't let it kind of fluff up. Denver, Colorado is really great for curly hair, afros and stuff, because you don't get frizzy. But that also means it doesn't plump up as nice as it normally does in places like the East Coast where it's nice and humid. So, whatevs. So sorry for the kind of rather stringy, octopusy, that's a movie, hair. But anyway, I'm supposed to be talking about my yarn. So this product's probably going to be done in another week or so. And it's just one hank of the Madeleine Tosh Merino Light, which is about like 400 yards, and then 4 different unicorn tails, which is like 50 yards each, to make a nice size cowl. And I'm working them on size 2, size 3 circulars, and I'm keeping them in my Bling Your String bag. Thank you very much, Erin. So the reason that I am not done yet is because a friend of mine's having a baby, her first baby. Cheers. And I wanted to make her a little something something, so I don't think she watches the podcast, but if you do, you're about to see your baby blanket, okay? I headed on over to Michael's Crafts, because yeah, you know what? Michael's is awesome. And I had a discount, so I bought 6 balls of this loops and thread yarn, which I believe is 100% fake. Yep, it's 100% acrylic. I have no problems with acrylic, especially when the price is right and it's for a baby gift. This is about, each skein is about 109 yards, and it's nice and smushy. So guess what? I am crocheting for the first time in a very, very long time. I'm using my Fat Squirrels bag. Thank you so much, Amy Beth. I got this at SSK. And I'm just basically doing a really simple crochet chevron. I haven't crocheted in so long that I had to reteach myself to crochet while working. That was my crochet hook. I was like, shit, is there a bell? Is someone coming to visit us? No. Because I wanted to work on this, I had to buy a crochet hook, so, because all my stuff was packed. This is an N style, and it's, you know, good old-fashioned the metal ones, hence the clanging on the floor. And it's going pretty quickly. I started this a couple days ago, and it's pretty big already. And if you haven't guessed, my favorite color is teal. And my friend is having a baby boy, so I'm making a teal chevron blanket. Pretty simple. Hopefully this is big enough for a baby. and it's going pretty well. I'm going to flash along the bottom or in the show notes the pattern inspiration for this because, believe it or not, it was hard for me to find a simple double crochet chevron pattern for free via Ravelry, and I found a really neat one that was basically a t-shirt, like a shirt pattern with chevron, and I just kind of didn't make a shirt out of it, so it's going pretty well. And that's probably why I will finish my cowl in the next week or so, but both are pretty brainless, easy projects, so they're going pretty well. So let's talk about what I'm stashing, shall we? So I'll talk about this in periphery if I have a chance to, but I'm trying to make a shorter episode, so maybe not. I've been doing a lot of cool things thanks to my new job, and I'm sorry, haven't figured out how I want to kind of talk about work, because now that I work in the craft industry, I'm trying not to let it get too incestuous with my podcast and my like personal craziness about crafts in general. But suffice it to say that I went to TNNA earlier in January as part of my job, and it was really, really awesome. I met some really cool people, and it was nice to kind of be in that environment in a more professional setting where it was like, I love Rhinebeck and I love Maryland Sheep and Wool and all of the smaller festivals, but sometimes they get a little crazy, and it wasn't like that because this was fairly, like, this was all industry professionals. But anyway, I didn't realize that there were opportunities to shop during TNNA, and there was kind of like a sample night, so I went ahead and picked up, I'll take this out of the bag in a second, some of my very first Mountain Colors yarn. I've heard of Mountain Colors, they're a pretty popular brand, and so it was nice to kind of get a small sampling of one of their yarns. This is their Crazy Foot, and it's a sampler, so it's 5 mini skeins of 90 yards each. And of course, I had to get this color because when I first got my hair dyed in New York, the tips were purple and the middle was blue, but I've since had to re-dye it, so now it's all blue. I will try and flash a picture of myself with bleach blonde hair. It's kind of amazing. It's kind of scary. So when I saw this collabo, or when I saw this kind of gradient, I kind of had to snap it up because it exactly matches my hair, because I'm 5. So I'm excited about this, and it came with a free pattern to make this cute little shawlette, which is the Trapper Peak shawlette by Leslie Taylor. I'll try to put a color picture of it up, but it's a pretty simple shawl, but as you can see, even though it's black and white, it'll do a very nice simple gradient. So yay for stashing! Obviously I'm stashing the yarn for the crochet baby blanket that I made, that I just talked about. It's Lucent Thread, which is, I think, just a major yarn that you can get at any Michaels. Yeah, so I also got some other non-knitting, non-crochet supplies. You guys know, if you've watched me before or if you follow me on Instagram, that I spin, and I also needle fill for like 2 seconds. So a local-ish yarn shop. I've been exploring all of the Colorado yarn shops in Northeast Colorado as much as I can. So I've been to Fancy Tiger, obviously, and a couple other places. But I went to Shuttles and Skeins. It's a really great store in Boulder, California. Boulder, Colorado. It's called Shuttles, Spindles, and Skeins. They're really, really sweet there. And they're like a little old school, so they gave me like one of these handwritten receipts, which is always kind of fun to watch them make out. But I got another first for myself. This is Paco Vicuña. Ooh, soft. And look at the colors, guys. If you know me, you know I normally go for super bright, super bold colors and simple patterns, but I'm trying to like come into the quality and like quietness of our hobbies and focus more on texture and pattern a little bit more. So I got these two, 1 ounce total, really so soft. And the woman at the at Shuttles, Spindles, and Skeins explained to me that a Paco Vicuña is an alpaca mixed with a vicuña, because apparently you cannot breed or bring even vicuña sperm into the United States because they're so endangered in South America. So what they did was they backbred or backwards bred alpacas to be more like vicuñas. I don't know how that really works. She tried to explain it. It didn't make sense to me. Basically, they just kept looking for alpacas with really soft wool. Is it called wool or fur or hair for alpacas? I'm not really sure. We'll call it wool. Just looking for animals that had softer and softer hair and breeding them together, and I guess that gets closer to what a vicuña is like, but they're still alpacas, so that's why I'm like, yeah, they're just really ultra soft alpacas maybe. But anyway, I bought these two super soft skeins, and I'm going to try and spin them into a nice soft little cowl for myself because I love having things that are warm around my face, so, and they smell yummy. And the other thing that I got at Shuttle Spindles and Skeins, which is not super exciting right now, but hopefully will be, is this needle felting tool. So pretty basic. I started needle felting a couple of months ago. I have tons of supplies, but I haven't been doing it tons because I just have the single needles. And A, it takes forever when you're doing that. B, I stab myself a lot more when I'm doing that. So hopefully with the pen, it'll go faster and I can be a little bit more precise. So hopefully in a couple of episodes, keep your eye out for some more needle felting. So I think that's all that I'm crafting and stashing. I've got a little bit of time left for some periphery. I don't know where to begin with periphery. I actually didn't think I would be podcasting right now. It's Super Bowl Sunday, which in my house is Super Craft Sunday because Greg loves football and I love crafting and I gotta find something to do while I'm watching the Super Bowl. So traditionally, like, even if we go to friends' houses to watch the game, I'm sitting there being super, super crafty. So I'm gonna try and work a little bit on all of these crafts actually today. Hence the Super Craft Sunday. But I didn't think I was gonna podcast because I still got boxes, I'm sitting on a crate right now, and just life is kind of like all over the place. But it's been so much fun living here. You know, I went to TNNA because of work. I'm meeting all these amazing creative people. Basically for work, I do what I do for my podcast. I like edit and create content for a craft company. It's really, really cool and really, really exciting, and it kind of makes me want to up my game even more than I have been wanting to up it in the past couple of months. And I might take a bit of a break to kind of figure out how to get a better camera set up and how to do better interviews with people and get better sound and get better editing. I want it to be a really nice podcast for you guys. So that's what I'm going to be doing in the background, and maybe that's why you won't see me podcast very frequently. But suffice it to say, I'm really, really excited to be on the West Coast. I miss so much. I miss New York so, so much. It's kind of sad and scary, but the amazing things about Colorado and Denver in particular are just too long to list. And because this is going to be a short episode, I won't kind of go into more of the periphery, but suffice it to say that I'm here, I'm in the West, I'm loving it. I'm definitely missing New York City. Fun things are happening there, like Vogue Knitting Live I missed, and there was a plucky knitter update at Gauge Intention, and all of my podcasting friends had a symposium at the Brooklyn Library, so a lot of really cool things are happening in New York, but I think a lot of cool things are happening in Denver here too. So when I do continue to podcast, be sure you will know that I'm going to be just as much out and about as I was in New York City, exploring Denver with you guys, and telling you about all the cool crafty stuff, including all the amazing beers here. But yeah, I'm really, really excited, and I can't wait to jump into things. So thank you so much for hanging out with me for a couple of minutes. Go enjoy your football Sundays. Go enjoy your Sundays, whatever the heck you're doing, even if you're not into football, like me. And I'll see you around here soon. You can always find me on Instagram at Creole. Am I Creole on Instagram? Yes, I am. Or on Twitter as Creole as well, or on my website, creole.com/CraftStash. In the meantime, till then, if you can't craft it, stash it! Cheers!